Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August 8th. We've got our July Players of the Month, an extension for a young, talented kid, and more. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We've got a good episode for you here today. A little bit shorter than the usual, but that doesn't mean we don't have lots of great baseball to talk about for the episode here today. I do want to jump right on into it, though. So with that being said, we've got our AL Players of the Month, the month of July. We're going to jump into things, and we're starting off with the catcher. And Cal Raleigh has been brilliant, but the month of July was a bit slower for him, and that gives room to Salvador Perez, a .337 average, 9 homers, 21 RBIs, and 1.098 OPS for him. He's your catcher. For first baseman, how about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? The Jays have been hot, and he has been starting to tear it up now that it's the second half of the season. .333 average, 3 homers, 13 RBIs, and a .943 OPS for him. Altuve started off in left field, back at second, but also doing some DHing. He's all over the place. I put him at second baseman for the AL, a .363 average, 5 homers, 21 RBIs, and a 1.055 OPS. The Astros looking to win the West once again. Will need all the help they can get. Staying from one Jose, going into another, because at third base it is still Jose Ramirez, one of the great players in the game right now. Highly underrated, but still highly talented. .265 average, 8 homers, 18 RBIs, and a .953 OPS for him. For shortstop, Corey Seager on the Rangers, .326 average, 5 homers, 15 RBIs, and a 1.040 OPS. Rangers chasing some wild card, chasing the division a little bit. Gonna need some more help, but Seager helping out in the month of July. For the outfielders, we have Jarren Duran from the Red Sox, .317 average, 5 homers, 21 RBIs, and a 1.094 OPS. And we're going from one AL East team to another AL East team in George Springer, a .371 average, 7 homers, 17 RBIs, and a 1.091 OPS. Started off the month really hot, and then ended up getting a concussion, so he cooled off a little bit. And going from another AL East team to a third AL East team for the outfield, it's Aaron Judge, of course, from the Yankees. Despite a little bit of an IL stint, still a .288 average, still 7 homers, 18 RBIs, and a 1.089 OPS. That's how good Judge has been all season long. For the starting pitcher, we're going to Nathan Eovaldi. He's been brilliant this year, and I should know I have him on my fantasy team. When healthy, he's been a stud, and in the month of July, he was 5-0 in 30.2 or 30 and 2/3 innings pitched, with 30 strikeouts and a 0.59 ERA. Absolute brilliant stuff from Nathan Eovaldi. For the rookie of the month from July, Nick Kurtz, of course, that 4-homer day, but of course his numbers across the month have been brilliant. .395 average, nearly had 400 average for the month of July. Crushing 11 home runs, 27 RBIs, and a 1.433 OPS. Led the month in OPS this month. I was going to say this year, but crazy stuff from Nick Kurtz. And for our special / DH, went more down the special route, and giving some flowers to Bo Bichette from the Blue Jays. A .357 average, 2 homers, 18 RBIs, and a 941 OPS. Bo has really found his form. Now leads the league in hits. He's been brilliant, getting 3 for 5, 4 for 5 hits basically every other day. So Bo Bichette getting some love here for the AL Players of the Month, as that wraps up that. And we move on now to the NL players of the month here. Starting it off with catcher, it's JT Realmuto from the Phillies, a 354 average, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, and a 0.882 OPS for him. Sticking with the Fightin' Phils, Bryce Harper, of course, a legendary player and soon to be Hall of Famer when his career is all said and done. 291 average, 6 homers, 11 RBIs, and a 1.006 OPS here. Second baseman in the NL was a bit weak in July, but Ketel Marte still holding his own. 247 average, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, and a 764 OPS for him. Manny Machado from the Padres, a 3.33 average, 7 homers, 24 RBIs, and a 1.003 OPS from the Padres' third baseman veteran. How about Willy Adames for the shortstop? Breakout month with the Giants, his first year in his long deal. He finally looked like the Willy Adames that they had signed from the beginning of the season. A 3.37 average, 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, and a 1.096 OPS. Good for Willie. For the outfielders in the NL, Kyle Schwarber from the Phillies was absolutely on a tail. 264 average, 12 homers, 29 RBIs, and a 1.093 OPS. I'm pretty sure I said tail and not what I was trying to say, which was tear. He's been on a tear. 29 RBIs in a month is insane. Schwarber, incredible player. Jackson Chourio from the Brewers is our second outfielder here. 367 average with 4 homers, 17 RBIs, and a 1.008 OPS for him. And for good measure, we got Pete Crow Armstrong from the Central as well. A 308 average, 6 homers, 16 RBIs, and a 984 OPS. Which one of these young studded outfielders would you rather have for your franchise? Pete Crow or Jackson Chourio? Both great and both part of our outfielders for July in the NL. For starting pitcher, how about Paul Skeens? Of course, he's incredible. He had a 0.67 ERA for the whole month, pitching 27 innings with 36 strikeouts. Just brilliant stuff for Mr. Skeens here. For the rookie of the month, how about Isaac Collins from the Brewers? He had a pretty outstanding month. A 321 average, 2 homers, 11 RBIs, and an 847 OPS. That NL rookie of the year kind of seems open, while the AL is kind of which A is going to get it, Wilson or Kurtz. But Collins was great. He will get it for the month of July. And for the special / DH, I know he is not in the not in the NL anymore, but for the most of the month of July, he was in the NL. So I want to give flowers to Eugenio Suarez when he was with the D-backs, of course, traded to the Mariners. But for the month of July with the Diamondbacks, a 220 average, 10 homers, 18 RBIs, and an 898 OPS. Suarez was brilliant, and now he is a Mariner trying to help them chase down the Astros, get into a wild card. Well, they are in a wild card, but trying to maybe get the division from the Houston Astros there. So Suarez getting it there from the NL. And with that being said, let's take a look at the players of the month here. We've got a couple of guys here that MLB finally was able to release here. They didn't do a team of the month, but they do have their normal 8 here. So going over them right now, the AL Player of the Month for July, according to MLB, was in fact Nick Kurtz, a 395 average, the 1.433 OPS, 11 homers, 27 RBIs, as mentioned. Again, brilliant month from him, and if he can keep this up, he's going to be one of the future pieces of the A's and eventually the Las Vegas A's, or however that team will look in 2-3 years. But he gets the AL Player of the Month there. For the NL side of things, how about we go to Miami for Kyle Stowers? He's having a breakout year, and that month of July was incredible for Stowers. A 364 average, a 1.269 OPS with 10 homers and 20 RBIs. Hats off to Stowers. And the Marlins, hats off to them. They could kind of make a late push here. They've been playing some really great baseball recently. We might have to talk about them in an episode coming up here, depending on how these next couple of series goes for Miami. For the pitchers of the month in the AL, it is Nathan Eovaldi. For the NL, it is Paul Skeens. Both guys that I mentioned, 5-0 record for Nathan Eovaldi, a 0.67 ERA for Skeens, 0.59 for Eovaldi. Both Absolute brilliant. For the rookies, AL and NL, the same guys that I had mentioned, me and MLB, we're on the wavelengths right now. Nick Kurtz and Isaac Collins both having fantastic months, getting the nods there for the rookies of the month for July. And lastly, relievers, something I don't dwell in, but the AL reliever of the month, Kenley Jansen from your Angels, 11 1/3 innings pitched, 0 ERA, didn't give up a single run while striking out 13 for 5 saves in the month. And your reliever of the month from the NL side, it's Edwin Diaz, who pitched 11 innings with a 0 ERA, also not giving up a single run while striking out 18 batters on the route to 7 saves in the month. That is what MLB has for all for the players, pitchers, rookie, and relievers of the month for July here. And that is a quick recap of the July players of the month, my picks for the AL and NL and MLB as well. And with that being said, let's jump into our series recap. Royals and Red Sox. The Red Sox score 5 in the first with the help from a home run from Jarren Duran as they get an 8-5 win. Trevor Story drives in 3 runs in the game 2 to help them get their 7th straight win. Boston on a roll, 6-2 the final there. Looking for a sweep and their 8th straight win, but could not find it. Jonathan India, a 3-run home run, helps the Royals avoid the sweep as they win that one 7-3 and ending Boston's winning streak at 7. Twins and Tigers, Wencel Perez, Kerry Carpenter, Dylan Dingler, all going deep for the Tigers as they take a 6-3 win. But the Twins can do it too. Luke Keschel getting his first career MLB home run. Trevor Lenarge going deep as well as they get a 6-3 win to even the series. And then it's Brooks Lee, Austin Martin, and Alan Roden who all go deep. 9-4 Twins as they take 2 of 3 from the Tigers. That's a big series win for them. White Sox and Mariners now. Dominic Canzone, Eugenio Suarez, and Josh Naylor all going deep for the Mariners. 8-3 the final there. Josh Naylor, he goes deep again in Game 2 alongside Julio for an 8-6 Mariners win. And they would go for the sweep and get it. Randy Rosarena, a home run there. Brooks Baldwin goes deep for the White Sox. That was in the 7th. That got us tied. We needed extras, but the Mariners would walk it off. Dominic Canzone, a walk-off single for the sweep. 4-3 the final in 11, and the Mariners take all 3 from the White Sox. Yankees and Rangers now. Bottom 9. It's Jock Peterson. He ties it in the 9th, down to the last hope for the Rangers. His 3rd homer of the season. Are you kidding me? What are we watching as Josh Young hits a walk-off 3-run home run in the 10th to add another embarrassing loss for the Yankees recently. 8-5 Texas. Devin Williams was so good in Game 1, he had to pitch again in Game 2 and gave up the only 2 runs of the game on a 2 RBI single from Ryan Tellez. Rangers win it 2-0. Oh my gosh, Yankees, at least they salvage it. Paul Goldschmidt comes up a clutch pitch hit home run, and they don't use Devin Williams. 3-2 Yankees to avoid the sweep. Texas takes 2. Rays and Angels. Joe Adell, continuing his breakout season, hits his 22nd homer of the season, helping the Halos to a 5-1 win. He would go deep again in Game 2 for his 23rd, but Brandon Lau gets home run number 20, and the Rays roll for a 7-3 win to even the series. How about Junior Caminero? A 2-homer game, his 29th and 30th homers of the season. Christopher Morel, Nick Fortes both go deep. 5-4 Tampa. The Rays take 2 of 3 from the Halos. Astros and Marlins now. The Astros score 5 runs in the 4th, leading them to an 8-2 victory. They followed that up with an Altuve and Yanya Diaz home runs in Game 2 for a 7-3 win. But it would be the Marlins that spoiled the party. Heriberto Hernandez and Graham Pauley both go deep, and the Marlins take a 6-4 win to avoid the sweep to the Stros. A's and Nationals now. How about Shea Langoliers hitting not 1, not 2, but 3 homers in the first game here. He's the 2nd catcher in MLB history to do that while batting leadoff. He joins Daryl Hernise and JJ Bleday going deep in this game. 16-7 A's. Riley Adams, a game-tying homer in Game 2, which helps lead the Nats to a walk-off as C.J. Abrams hits an RBI single to walk it off in the ninth. 2-1 Nationals, the final, evens up the series. And in the final game, it's Colby Thomas getting his first career MLB home run. Tyler Soderstrom goes deep as well. 6-0 A's as they take 2 of 3 from the Nats. Brewers and Brave now. Isaac Collins hits a 3-run home run for all the Brewers runs in this one. 3-1 Brewers the final. They then score 4 runs in the third, leading them to a 7-2 victory over Atlanta. And in the final game, Andrew Vaughn goes deep. Blake Perkins goes deep. 5-4 Brewers as Milwaukee sweeps Atlanta, gets all 3 games. Guardians and Mets. The Mets scored 2 in the 8th to come back, but the Guardians would score 2 in extras. The Mets only 1, and Cleveland takes a 7-6 win in the opener. Stephen Kwan would get an RBI single in the 7th in Game 2 to break the tie. That leads the Guardians to a 3-2 win. And in the final game, David Fry goes deep, Angel Martinez goes deep, and Gavin Williams so close to a no-hitter but was brilliant regardless. 4-1 Cleveland the final. The Guardians sweep the Mets at home. That's a big series for them. Oilers and Phillies now. Harper goes deep. Schwarber goes deep. Harrison Bader goes deep. Schwarber goes deep again for a grand slam. Edmundo Sosa goes deep. Weston Wilson goes deep. The Phillies were hitting bombs. 13-3 the final there. In Game 2, it's Max Kepler, it's Brandon Marsh. They both go deep for a 5-0 win. But in the final game, Kobe Mayo, a 3-run home run for the Oilers, leads them to a 5-1 victory as they avoid the sweep against the Phils. Reds and Cubs now. This was a big series for Cincinnati. They took advantage of it. Tyler Stevenson, a home run. TJ Friedl, an RBI single, breaks the tie. That's the difference in Game 1. 3-2 Cincy. The final there. Spencer Steer hitting a 3-run homer in Game 2. 5-1 Reds. They would look for the sweep, but it would be Seiya Suzuki, Dansby Swanson, and Ian Happ who all go deep for Chicago. 6-1 the final there as the Cubs avoid the sweep, but the Reds taking 2 of 3 from one of the top teams in baseball this year. Giants and Pirates now. Jack Sawinski gets his second homer of this season. The Pirates come back in the 9th to tie it and then win it on an IKF fielder's choice as the run scores and the Pirates win it 5-4 in the opener. Introducing Gerard Encarnacion getting his first MLB home run in Game 2, joined by Christian Koss and Willie Adames as the Giants win it 8-1. And it was so much fun. Gerard Encarnacion had to do it again, his second MLB career home run. 4-2 Giants as San Francisco takes 2 of 3 from the Pirates. Cardinals and Dodgers now. Mason Wynn and Ivan Herrera both go deep in a 3-2 Cardinals win, but introducing Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez as both the Dodgers hit 2 homers in the game, combined for 4 between the two of them. 12-6 Dodgers to final, even up the series. And in the rub match, Dodgers were up thanks to an Ohtani home run, his 1,000th career hit. But the Cardinals come back. 4 runs in the last 4 innings helped lead them to a 5-3 victory and 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. How about that? Padres and D-backs now. Tyler Locklear and Alec Thomas both go deep. It's a 6-2 Diamondbacks win. In Game 2, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., he would hit 2 homers in the game, and one of them was a game-tying homer in the 9th off of Mason Miller, who threw the pitch 103.9 miles per hour, the fastest pitch to be hit for a home run in MLB history, I believe. That ties the game in the 9th. But it delays the inevitable. The Padres score 5 in the 10th to put the hammer down. 10-5 Padres even up the series. And in the final game, Bogarts goes deep. And down by 1, it's Ryan O'Hearn going deep in the 9th inning to tie it up. Padres would score again in the 9th and take a 3-2 win to take 2 of 3 against the D-backs. Big wins for San Diego as they claw and claw against the Dodgers. And that brings us to Blue Jays and Rockies. And oh my Rockies, look away. This series was ugly. Bo Bichette, a 2-homer day. Varsho goes deep. It's 15-1 Blue Jays in game one. They have a little bit of a better game in a 10-4 Blue Jays win. Nathan Lucas goes deep. Varsho hits 2 homers in the game, and Vlad and Barger go back to back. It's all Blue Jays. And in the final game, it's Bichette with another home run. It's Schneider with a 2-homer game. It's Vladdy with a homer. It's Ernie with a home run. The Jays add 8 runs in the ninth off a catcher pitching, Austin Nola, and it's 20-1 Blue Jays, the final. They outscored the Rockies 45-6 in the 3 games, and that's your series recap. Okay, now game of the week, and I'm taking you to Texas. I talked about it last episode. This was the series to watch, game 1 of the series, and the Yankees strike first. Paul Goldschmidt, a leadoff home run, his 9th of the season. 1-0 New York. You gotta feel good about that. Top second, another acquisition, a new one. Ahmed Rosario, an RBI single. The Yankees were up 2, and then Cody Bellinger, an RBI single. 3-0 New York. You gotta feel good about that. But the Rangers get on the board in a big way, because in the bottom of the second, Josh Smith with an RBI single scores a run. Ezekiel Duran, a 2 RBI single, tied the game up at 3, and then a throwing error by Max Fried on a pickoff attempt allows Jonah Heim to come in to score. Texas scores 4 in the second to take the lead, but in the top of the fourth, it's Big G Giancarlo Stanton, his 10th homer of this season. A 2-run shot puts the Yankees back on top. It's 5-4, and it would stay this way until the final out in the bottom of the ninth. Jock Peterson comes up to bat. Devin Williams on the mound, and Peterson gets to him, his 3rd homer of the season, and the best feeling in the world, tied up at 5. We need extras, and it doesn't get much better than that. Seager at second. They walk Langford to face Josh Young, and Josh Young says, "Thank you very much," and absolutely obliterates a baseball into the Texas sky for a 3-run walk-off home run, his 11th homer of the season. And the Texans are winning this one 8-5, an embarrassing loss for the Yankees, and that is your game of the week. So let's dive into the news here. I've got a little bit to talk about. The first piece of news, the Red Sox are extending Roman Anthony. How about that? An 8-year deal worth $130 million. The rookie getting paid, and you gotta love to see it. Not sure exactly on the details yet, but if it is a standard straight-up contract, he's getting paid $16.25 million per year. He's with the Red Sox. It's gotta feel good for Roman Anthony. You know, the team trusts you. You're kind of the next guy up. You know, with Devers gone, and you know, when you look at that team, Roman Anthony's team now. It is pretty much, you know, his team here. So far in his first year in the big leagues, he's picked up 1.8 career WAR, 163 at-bats, has 45 hits, 2 homers, a 276 batting average, 27 runs, 19 RBIs, and an 809 OPS. Roman Anthony's been very solid. You know, the home runs haven't really been there yet, but so far through, you know, what's been a month and a half, I believe, since he got called up. 47 games to be exact. He's been a very solid addition, and obviously the talent is there. The Red Sox know what he's about. They like what he is and what he can offer to this team, and they think that the investment is worth it. So hopefully for them, Roman Anthony can stay healthy, can stay on the field, producing, keeps improving year in and year out. And, you know, by the time of this 8-year extension's up, you know, we're going to see Roman Anthony, you know, talking about, oh, he needs a $45 million contract because that's how good he was. So you know, whenever you hand out money to a young kid like this, we've seen it a lot more in recent years, but every move seems riskier and riskier. You never know how it's actually going to turn out, but Boston likes their chances, likes the upside, and Roman Anthony getting the bag here. Good for him, and good for Boston at least. You know, you got a guy locked up for 8 years. You believe at least, you know, hopefully he doesn't end up traded somewhere else, but For now, he is essentially going to be the face of the new Boston Red Sox regime. So get excited for Mr. Roman Anthony. Do like the kid a lot. Moving on here, let's talk about the Blue Jays really quickly because they were bringing it to Colorado. They went crazy in Coors, as I mentioned, outscoring them 45-6 in the 3-game series. They picked up 63 hits. That's averaging 21 hits a game. That's the most in modern day MLB history in a 3-game series. And the Blue Jays had a franchise record for runs as well, 45 runs in the 3-game series. And it was really cool. Like each game, there was a different J that kind of popped off. Bo Bichette, a 2-homer day in Game 1. Varsho, a 2-homer day in Game 2. And then Davis Schneider, a 2-homer game in Game 3. Varsho, since coming back from the IL, has been fantastic. And I mean, when you look at the Jays, they really needed a series like this. They had, obviously been a very hot team for most of the July here. And since coming back from the second half, they've been winning series. They've been doing a good job, but did kind of run into a bit of a slump. And I say bit as in a very small, like, oh no, the 4-game series, they lost the series to Baltimore, and then Kansas City came to town and they kind of, flumbered, not flumbered, like they had a little bit of an oomph kind of a week there where they, dropped 1 to the Tigers, lost 3 straight to Baltimore, and then ended up dropping 2 of 3 to Kansas City. So when you look at that, they were kind of floundering at the end of July here, when you look at that week here. But they come back, get a huge 3 games against Colorado, and now they take a trip to LA for a big series against the Dodgers before getting a chance to go back home. The next couple of series for Toronto is big ones. You think Dodgers, that's a top team. You think Cubs, that's a top team. You think Texas, that's a top team. And then they get a little bit of a treat at the end of August with the Pirates, Marlins, and Twins. So, 3 competitive series coming up, and then 3 kind of baby food series coming up. So Blue Jays will keep that in mind here. But for right now, absolutely smashed it in Colorado. Good for them. Sticking with the East here, because that's kind of been the theme of today's episode, is Boston, Roman Anthony, Blue Jays, they're amazing. Yankees, they're not been amazing. And they keep finding ways to lose these games. And I've been watching a lot of Yankee people, YouTubers and podcasters and other stuff here, and just to get other people's perspectives here. And obviously more into the fan base because I'm not a Yankee fan. I don't know the Yankees fandom and what they believe for their team here. The Yankees revamped their bullpen. They saw at the trade deadline, they bring in Jake Bird, they bring in David Bednar, they bring in Camilo Duvall, and of course they signed Devin Williams at the beginning of the year, who had been struggling. He had his worst year of his career since donning the pinstripes, and we know, the pinstripe effect can happen to any player, no matter how good they were. Playing for the Yankees can be its own challenge. Just being in Yankee Stadium, dealing with the Yankee fandom, some players can handle it very well. Those players become the Yankee legends, and some players, well, they struggle and they become the forgotten bunch. When you think of the Yankees and the people that the Yankee fans hate the most, think of Joey Gallo and Josh Donaldson in recent years. But Devin Williams is definitely going to be added to that list as one of the most hated Yankees unless he can turn this thing around here. And to be honest with you, I don't think they want him to turn it around. You think of Devin Williams from the Brewers here from 2022 to 2024. That's a 3-year span. 3 years of being the closer, being a dominant guy. He gave up 26 earned runs. And here we sit in August 8th. And this year alone, he's given up 26 earned runs. He's given up the same amount of runs so far this year. The year is not done. Then he has combined the last 3 years with the Brewers. And I mean, you got different teams. Obviously, when you're in the NL Central, you're pitching against the Reds and the Pirates, and that's not the same as coming to the East and pitching against the Blue Jays in Baltimore of recent and Tampa of recent. And, it's a different environment. Boone is making some really awful decisions with the bullpen. They have the pieces now, It's just about utilizing them in the correct way. David Bednar got the save in their win in the third game of the series to avoid the sweep and falling out of the wild card spot, which would have been crazy. But yeah, I don't know what the Yankees got to do here. Do they take Devin Williams out? Do they bring him in non-leverage situations? Like, I think that's what it comes down to here, because they brought him in game 2 as well. High leverage situation, game 0-0. You got the bases loaded, and you got Ryan Tellez up at the plate, who was DFA'd by the Mariners earlier this year. He comes clutch with the 2 RBI single. Those are the only 2 runs that come into this game. So I would go on a limb and say Devin Williams lost you these 2 games. And obviously he's lost you guys plenty more, but when a player is losing games like this, like, I get Boone's idea of wanting to stick with your guy and trusting him and helping him work through the funk, and the only way to do that is to get back out on the horse. I understand that completely, but at the same time too, that's okay when the rest of the team is kind of clicking and the offense is doing its thing and the defense is doing its thing and the starters are doing its thing. To have your closer kind of have a couple hiccups here and there, yeah, you can work through it because you guys are still winning the majority of games. But right now, the Yankees are not doing that. The offense has looked awful. The bullpen has been horrendous outside of Williams, even the other guys. Starting rotation hasn't been as strong as it has been, and the defense has been sloppy all season long. So it's not the time to help Williams get out of its funk. It's time to do whatever it takes to win games. Does that mean having Devin not pitch? Does that mean having Max Fried go 8 innings even if he's thrown 150 pitches? Does that mean batting Jazz 9th or Judge 9th or whatever? Like, whatever it takes to win games needs to be Boone's priority. That's been an issue right now, and that's why the Yankees, keep finding ways to lose games. And until they can figure that out, don't envy being a Yankees fan right now here. So keep that in mind here as we continue into the month of August, and we'll see where the Yankees sit next week. Last bit of baseball news here, and it's very special. Jen Pawol. She's going to be making MLB history. She's becoming the first woman to be an ump in a regular season MLB game. It's very exciting here. I'm excited to kind of tune into those games and see how it goes. Obviously the pressure is going to be on based off of just, the gender stuff. It's the storylines, right? It's why we talk about it. It sucks that it is the case, but at the same time too, it is a big deal. So hopefully she can manage under it. Obviously, the last thing anybody wants is for her to have a hiccup or two, because if that's the case, then you have those testosterone men who will just be like, oh, this is why women can't be in sports and blah, 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 blah. And, it's going to hopefully be a very great day for women in sports and just in general for baseball, as we take this milestone kind of together in the MLB here. So she's going to be at base during the Marlins and Braves doubleheader on Saturday. So maybe first base for one game, third base for another game, or second base, or a mix of whatever. And then on Sunday, that's the real test, because she will be calling the balls and strikes behind home plate. So 2 games there for her. Really excited stuff to see how it goes. But congratulations to Jen Pawol. It hasn't happened yet, but it will. So tune in to those games over the weekend, Braves and Marlins. But Jen Pawol set to make MLB history this weekend. Let's get on to our injury updates here. Talk about who got hurt. And it starts with Tommy Edman from the Dodgers, 10-day IL with a sprained ankle. Austin Riley from the Braves back on the 10-day IL for another stint this year with a strained abdominal. Chase Mydroth from the White Sox, 10-day IL with thumb contusion. Nick Lodolo lands on the 15-day IL again this year with the Reds. Blister on the left ring finger, Michael Soroka From the Cubs now on the 15-day IL with a strained shoulder. Not what you love to see when the guy you get traded for lands on the IL after his first start. Theo Estrada from the Rockies, 10-day IL with a strained hamstring. And then we obviously know Grayson Rodriguez hasn't been pitching this year, but he will be needing elbow surgery and will miss the rest of the 2025 season for sure, and most likely some of the 2026 season. So not a great look there for Baltimore, who will continue to struggle this year and potentially even next year. Outstanding performances from the week here. We start with Quinn Priester, who continues his breakout season with the Brewers. 7 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. Just brilliant stuff. Tyler Glasnow, 7 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. He went up against Sonny Gray, who was 7 innings, a hit, an earned run, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. Great stuff from Gray. Brian Wu from the Mariners, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 9 Ks. He's kind of pitching like he is the ace of that staff this year. Logan Webb, 6 innings, 7 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 10 Ks. Zach Littell in his Reds debut, 7 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. Hopefully he can keep that up for Cincy because they might have a playoff push in them. Nathan Eovaldi, we talked about July Player of the Month, 8 innings, 1 hit. How incredible is that? No runs, no walks, and 6 Ks. He is a stud. Jacob Lopez from the A's, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 10 Ks. Just great stuff against the Nationals. And how about Gavin Williams? 8 2/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 4 walks, and 6 Ks. That 1 hit was a solo shot home run to Juan Soto. He was 1 out away from the complete game. 126 pitches thrown, the most since Alex Cobb when he threw 131 on August 29th, 2023. Gavin Williams, take a bow for an outstanding performance, and boy, do I mean outstanding. Moving on here, let's get to our stat leaderboard. We got to be talking about the current leaderboard. Aaron Judge still leading an average at 339. Bo Bichette with a great week has brought his hits up by 12 to 145. Cal Raleigh still leading in home runs but did not hit any new ones, so 42 is still the number there. Kyle Schwarber has been raking. He now leads in RBIs with 94 RBIs. Shohei still leads in runs with 106. Soto in walks in 87. No longer a tie between Jose Caballero and O'Neal Cruz for stolen bases. It is just Jose Caballero, new Yankee, with 35 stolen bases. And, of course, Judge and OPS 1.148. For wins, it was Freddie Peralta, Garrett Crochet, and Max Fried. Now it is just Freddie Peralta and Garrett Crochet with 13. So Max Fried hopefully will find his 13th win coming up here. ERA is still Paul Skeens, 1.94. But if Nathan Eovaldi ever cracks that list, he would shoot up to number 1. Garrett Crochet still leading in Ks at 183, and then Robert Suarez in saves, 32 saves. So nothing new there, just increasing their stats. For the upcoming series here, what do we got cooking? Well, we have the Astros and the Yankees. That is a phenomenal series. A's at Astros, Guardians at White Sox, Royals at Twins, Angels at Tigers, Rays at Mariners, Phillies at Rangers, Marlins at Braves, Mets at Brewers, Cubs at Cardinals, Reds at Pirates, Nationals at Giants, Rockies at D-backs, Blue Jays at Dodgers, and we ended up with Red Sox at Padres. A full docket here for the weekend. Very exciting stuff. For our series highlight, I got to be honest with you, there are some good series this week. When you think about it, the Phillies and the Rangers, that's 2 postseason teams going head-to-head. Mets and Brewers, that's another 2 top teams going at it head-to-head. You look at those NL West games at the end there versus the AL East. Blue Jays at Dodgers. First place in the AL East, first place in the NL West. Red Sox and Padres, second place in the AL East versus second place in the NL West. So, I mean, if the Blue Jays sweep the Dodgers and the Padres sweep the Red Sox, they kind of help each other out. If the Dodgers sweep the Blue Jays and the Red Sox sweep the Padres, they kind of help themselves out. So there's a way where it could work here, a combination of a sweep from an AL East team and a sweep from an NL West team, and that could be a real series-changing, weekend here for the standings here. But for me, I'm going to say that the series of the week here, the series highlight, is the Astros and the Yankees. I got to be honest with you, I'm excited for this series here. Maybe not as big, impactful in the playoffs as, like I said, the Blue Jays, Dodgers, Red Sox, Padres for. But the Yankees are 3 games back of the Astros. So if the Yankees sweep, they would technically be tied. It wouldn't change where they are because the Astros still are a division winner and the Yankees would just be in the wild card. But still, 3 games back, even it up, it would be good. If the postseason started today, the Yankees and Astros would actually face each other in the AL wildcard matchup. That's why I have it as a series highlight, because this could be one of those, series that we see at the start of the postseason. With that being said, enter game 1. It's going to be Hunter Brown for the Astros, a 9-5 record with a 2.47 ERA. He has been brilliant, and he will be going against Cam Schlittler from the Yankees, 1-2 record and a 4.58 ERA. He's in a couple of big innings from the Yankees, but can he get a decent start here against Brown? For game 2, Framber Valdez having a sneaky, underrated season. We got to talk about him a little bit more. He might be one of the most underrated pitchers this year. 11-5 with a 2.83 ERA. I have barely heard this guy's name go out without the season here. So Framber Valdez been electric for the Astros. He is going up against Luis Hill, the rookie of the year last year for the Yankees, making his second start of the season, now healthy. He's 0-1 with a 13.50 ERA. Safe to say that his first start did not go according to plan. And for game 3, the Astros have a TBD listed. It could be Colton Gordon, it could be Spencer Arrighetti, or it could be Christian Javier coming back from his Tommy John surgery. His rehabs have been going well. So any one of those 3 could probably get the ball in game 3 here. But regardless, it would be the challenge because they would be going up against Max Fried from the Yankees. He'd be looking for his 13th win to join back at the top of the stat leaderboard. 12-4 record and a 2.78 ERA. This series will be good. Stay tuned for it, and hopefully we get some good baseball between the Astros and Yankees. Last decade we've had some pretty good baseball between the Astros and Yankees, so hopefully that continues this year if we end up in a matchup, but definitely will for this series here. Lastly, our playoff predictor. If the season ended today, who plays who and who wins the World Series? As I mentioned, the Yankees would be in the 6th seed. They're taking on the Astros in the 3 seed. Mariners in the 5 seed taking on the Red Sox in the 4 seed. Astros beat the Yankees. Red Sox beat the Mariners. So our ALDS matchups. The Astros take on the number 1 seeded Blue Jays, while the Red Sox get the number 2 seeded Tigers. The Blue Jays handle their own against the Astros, while the Red Sox and their hot hitting ways upset the Tigers. So our ALCS matchup is a battle of the AL East. Red Sox and Blue Jays, and the Red Sox are just unstoppable with Roman Anthony now and that 7-game winning streak that did just end the other day. For the NL, the Mets are in the 6th seed. They take on the Phillies in the 3 seed, while the Padres are in the 4 seed, taking on the Cubs in the 4 seed. The Padres are in the 5 seed, taking on the Cubs in the 4 seed. Phillies beat the Mets and Cubs beat the Padres. No upsets here. Our NLDS matchup, Phillies at Dodgers, Cubs at Brewers. The Phillies upset the Dodgers while the Brewers manage their own against the Cubs, eliminate them early. Our NLCS matchup then would be Phillies at Brewers. I feel like this would be a very fun and good, entertaining matchup that the Philadelphia Phillies would win. So our World Series rematch here, or not rematch, but World Series match here for 2025 would be the Boston Red Sox and the Philadelphia Phillies. And it would be your Philadelphia Phillies that would be your 2025 World Series champions if the season ended today. Ladies and gentlemen, the season does not end today, but this episode does end right now. I appreciate you all for tuning on in. Hopefully this was a good one as we get going into the month of August here. Basically the dog days of summer, waiting for teams to get closer and closer to clinching playoff spots, and some good and important baseball coming up in the month of August. I will leave you guys here. Thank you, buddy, so much, and I will see you on Monday.